In second place, we have number 230, Ed Ganas. And your first place winner is number 130, Jack.
I can't believe this was the outcome. So 3 weeks ago, I entered my first ever bodybuilding show. And for those of you who watched the vlogs leading up to it, you know it was a bit. I am a self-employed fitness coach in London. It was a crazy time of balancing all this work that was completely freelance. My days would sometimes range from like getting up at 5:30 in the morning and not coming back home till 9 p.m. All the while in my duffel bag, taking along with me 4 Tupperwares worth of overnight oats, chicken rice, and a yogurt bowl, which would obviously get warm by like midday because I wouldn't have a fridge to put it in. Regardless, we all have our obstacles that we face throughout all of our own personal bodybuilding experiences. Ultimately, to give you all context for those who don't know me that well personally as to why I even pursued this in the first place. In 2019, I was diagnosed with testicular cancer. I was 24 at the time. It was obviously a massive curveball. It was a big life lesson. It taught me a lot. I had my surgery. I luckily didn't need any treatment following the surgery. And then last year, I was then diagnosed the second time with testicular cancer. And this wasn't a recurrence. This was a completely different form. Of course, thank you to whoever's up there, which then meant I needed surgery again. In both instances of having those surgeries, we're getting to know each other extremely well. I had both of my testicles removed, which meant ultimately my body then was no longer able to source its own natural testosterone. So one of the big hurdles I had to face following my surgery halfway through last year was adapting to TRT, which is testosterone replacement therapy. And that is now something I am on for life. Once I recovered from my surgery the second time last year, however, a job which was then looking very promising to become my career turned around to me once I was recovered and said, I can no longer work for them. So I also lost my job at that time. So it's safe to say at the end of last year, I was at an all-time low. I did not know where I was going with life, and I kind of felt like I lost everything, which is ultimately why then a voice creeped in my head saying I should pursue something that I've always wanted to do, but I always felt like by society standards, I would never be taken seriously at doing, which was the bodybuilding. I think as well, one of the main reasons why it was bodybuilding is I've naturally always been someone who likes to defy the odds, especially social expectations. And so, for example, there's a stigma that men, to have muscle and to be seen as these strong, grandeur specimen, they need to be quite high on their testosterone, etc., etc. And I just wanted to prove to myself and many others out there that entering a bodybuilding show, let alone winning one, I can do that by having to inject myself once a week with TRT because I've gone through 2 horrific health scares. So you can too. So going into January, I signed with this incredible coach called Josh, and my intention was to solely for this year alone just live the life of a bodybuilder, be given structure, be given routine, so I could at least feel like I had something in control. But around March time, Josh then presented to me the idea of entering this bodybuilding show. So this is now what I mean then when I agreed to doing it, and throughout then my preparations of entering this bodybuilding show, everybody would ask, they'd be like, oh, okay, so what do you win? And like genuinely, I did not think once about placing. I did not think once about the aftermath of it. Like by the time we got to the show and that happened and the weeks leading up to it, the amount of growth I felt I experienced as a person and the amount of ways I felt this experience of just preparing for this show has changed me ultimately for the better. That was all I honestly did not think once about placing, nor did I genuinely care. Like if I were to have gone up on that stage on the bodybuilding show and be told I got last place, I would have honestly still been over the moon. Prepping for this show and living the life of a now bodybuilder, it's taught me so much. Before this year, I've spent my whole life compromising who I am through trying to please everybody, through trying to be a yes person. And preparing for this bodybuilding show, it's taught me so much about protecting your energy, establishing your boundaries, and knowing who you are. And I'm saying all of this because I just want you to understand the whole context that surrounded this day that we're about to witness and how much it really meant to me. And now moving forward, following this bodybuilding show, I am going to keep training as a bodybuilder. I'm in my growth phase for my next show. But for now, I just wanted to open up this video with a full, transparent contextualization around why I ultimately have decided to do this and why I am doing it and why ultimately I've left musical theatre. I've left performing. I'm doing that no longer. But let's go back to the beginning. Welcome to my final vlog. This is me, my first bodybuilding show for Pure Elite at Manchester. We're going to take it back to travel day. So this is it. The time has come. I'm about to travel to Manchester to take part in my first ever bodybuilding competition, Pure Elite. I am competing in the under 75 kilogram amateur fitness model category. I've been training intensely for 3 months now. We've had our ups, we've had our downs, and now the moment's finally here. So let's go to Manchester. Okay, so who's ready for an apartment tour? The space is insane, it's so big. So this is us walking in through the door, and this was the 1-bedroom ensuite with a sofa bed, and then I'll be taking the sofa bed. So like this is the main space. I've already unpacked and kind of like put all the essentials out there. My trunks are over there, the purple. Guys, it's gorgeous, isn't it? You've literally got this random spare space here, just full of like spare bedding if you need it, nothing else. I was like, walk-in wardrobe, but no. And then we're gonna take you through here. This is the double bedroom that I am giving to my parents. Actually, if we turn the light on, that might be nicer. But yeah, no, this is it. So I love it, actually. It's just a bit dim. So there's actually just a Sainsbury's local across the road. So I'm gonna pop there now. I'm gonna fill the fridge up with the stuff I need for tonight and tomorrow. I've already got the stuff I've prepped out ready. And I might just cook through it all now, get that all sorted, and then chill for a sec before we head off and get the tan. Let's go. Manchester, my lovely, you are freezing. It is Baltic. It's so different. London is so hot and here was so cold. I look like such a wally walking around like this. It also transpires I have to find 3 different supermarkets because there seems to be a drought on caramel Snacker Jacks, which is one of the things that I really need for tomorrow. But rest assured, we have them. We have all the other groceries we need, as well as I am now going to be prepping my food for tomorrow and then need to send my check-in photos over to Josh, and then we're going to get ready and we're going to head out for our tan. So yeah, I'm going to prep my food now and then we'll get going. So right now I'm just cooking 375 grams worth of diced up chicken breasts, and I'm having 3 different portions tomorrow throughout the day of 125 grams of chicken breasts with 3 caramel Snacker Jacks, 60 grams of jam, 2 grams of salt, 500 millilitres of water. This is because my category is going towards the end of the day, so I just need to pace myself out and not get too hungry, but also not fill myself out physically. So just moderately and consistently keep myself evenly stocked up. And I think this is what we're going with for now. We'll see if anything changes. There's been a few changes already today to my meal plan as we have gone on ahead. I've been doing my check-in photos accordingly to make sure things are going the way they need to. I'm going to do my next check-in photos now after cooking this chicken. Yeah, it's been a bit of a crazy past few hours. And then my tan outfit. I've got my shorts on. I'm going to head out in a minute. but I just wanted to quickly look through, because I actually haven't looked through them. I bought them, they've been sat in this bag all this time. My resistance bands that I'm going to be having tomorrow backstage, just to keep the pump on. I feel really bad. I sent the check-in photos to Josh just now, but the lighting here is just so bad. Like, I don't know what he's going to be able to do with them. And I don't look good in them either. And I'm worried he's thinking, hun, you should be very worried for tomorrow. Oh no, they already have the handles on them, right? See if there's anything else. Ah, that's what I was looking for. So if we clip that to the bottom of our foot. Nice, yeah. All right, we got it. Okay, so I've arrived here a little bit early, like 20 minutes early. I don't know why I thought it'd be in a bit more of a like city kind of place. It's in the middle of nowhere, so that's fun. So it was at this point of the day, I think I lost my mind. And I think it was because actually leading up into that, a lot happened that day. I got the train to Manchester. I did all my preparations in the morning. I finally get to Manchester. I get into the hotel. I set everything up. I'm doing my food, I'm cooking, I'm shopping. I had to run all over the shop for the caramel snacker jacks, yada, yada, yada. So then by the time then that I was going in to get this tan, it was like a random community hall in the middle of nowhere. There I was in my flip-flops and my baggy trackies. It was freezing. I was low on carbs. I was starving. I was tired. I just wanted my bed. I didn't know what I was going to go into the next day. I then knew that by the time I'd come back to the hotel, my parents were going to be there. So a lot was just happening. And then sitting in the back of that taxi, I just remember feeling like I was about to break down. But I don't even know why. I just felt like a shell of a human being. It was grim and I was very, very cold. I'm back at the hotel. Guys, I am freezing. I'm so hungry. I'm gonna have some dinner now. I get to have 125 grams of chicken, 60 grams of rice, and some vegetables and honey. But I get to see my parents. They're at the apartment now waiting for me. Okay, and again, then by the time I got into the hotel, I had to cook my food. I actually snapped at my dad. I was so moody and aggy. He was just standing behind my shoulder as I was cooking my chicken. And all I just wanted to do was just very quickly have my chicken cooked just so I can finally eat. And my dad was behind me saying, oh, the chicken's pink, the chicken's pink. And I literally just had to go like, Dad, leave me alone. It was a lot. That evening was a lot. I wasn't really being that conversational with my parents. I was being awful. I was being moody. I was being diva, not the good kind. It was an evening. It was an evening, but I did have a good night's sleep. Morning, everyone. So today is show day. Last night, I had the best sleep I've had for as long as I can remember since being on this prep. I have probably in total had about 6.5 hours sleep, which is the most sleep, I've had in one night in a very long time. So that's a good start. And it's now show day. It's the day I've been working towards, the day I've been looking forward to. So I'm really excited. So I got to get to the arena for 10 a.m. for my tan top up, for my second and potentially third layer. And then Josh will then look at me and we'll work out a plan throughout the day as and when I can eat. I'm gonna run through my routine now. This is it now. And then we're gonna have a Domino's pizza this evening. Josh just said I could have my breakfast with a black coffee. Okay, we're gonna head now to the arena and we're gonna get going with the show. Okay, and we are here backstage. Got here a bit early, which is actually just as good because Josh wanted me to send in a second batch of photos. Now that I had my first meal, had my breakfast, so it's been 2 hours since that, so I've had to send in a second batch of photos to then try and determine when I'm going to have the other 3 meals for the day. I feel so excited. I'm really pumped. So I'm just gonna now hang backstage for the whole time and then, yeah, just take it all in. I've got my second tan coming up in a bit as well. So I'm gonna get darker than this. So yeah, it feels very surreal and amazing right now. So then following that, I didn't really get to film much more else backstage just because then the changing room space that I had started filling up with more and more people. And I just didn't want to be that person like putting anybody else off by filming and everything. So all really the rest of the day entailed was me sitting in that exact spot. I felt very confident with my routine. I felt very confident with what I had to do on stage. I just loved chatting to people, hearing people's stories, eating my Snacker Jacks, eating my chicken, watching some YouTube inspiring content, and then it got to me being on stage.
It's Jack's first time competing today. I'm looking fabulous. Full-time working as a fitness coach. His hobbies include wrestling, DJing, and going.
Well in, Jack!
And place it in the back for again. Back home.
Well in, Jack! Come on, Jack!
In sixth place over on the far side of the stage, we have 176. In third place over on my side of the stage, we have 231 Jamie. In second place, we have number 230 Edgar Nass. And your first place winner is number 130 Jack.
And he's got a pro card! Yeah! And he's got a pro card! Woo-hoo-hoo! Well in, Jack! Woo-hoo! I told you, didn't I? I told you! Woo-hoo! I told you!
Guys, I can't believe it. I came first and I got pro. So yeah, so following the show, I think I rushed out of the arena because I honestly think now looking back on it subconsciously, I thought they were going to retract my pro card or the fact that I came first because I feel like they didn't realize maybe they got it wrong. I was in that much disbelief. And also I was just craving my Domino's pizza. That was the thing. When everyone was asking me about where I'd play and making that like the big reward of doing this whole experience. No. It was the Domino's pizza. Like, and I always remember like thinking, okay, in 10 days' time, I got the bodybuilding show and then we get the Domino's pizza. That was the ultimate reward for me. So I remember then, like, me and my parents leaving the arena, me clutching onto that pro card. It was raining, my tan was coming off, but then I was just thinking, we're going to get to this hotel now. We're going to get some picky bits from Morrison's, which we did get, and we're going to sit around a table. I'm going to get in my gym jams. We're just going to talk about what has just happened, and we're going to order that Domino's pizza. And it was just like Christmas times 100. It was the best feeling in the world. Here is my first place medal. I just want to say I've never come first place in anything before. And I think this was the universe rewarding me for once, not worrying about what anybody else has to say about what I was doing, not compromising myself for anyone or anything, going with my instinct, going with my gut, leading with my heart, doing something that I've always wanted to do unapologetically my way. And then for once in my whole life, I get first place. And yeah, I think if you're watching this and if you leave with anything, leave with that. If you lead with the heart and if you do what you want to do, the universe will reward you. And that concludes this short series of the second installment of the Comeback Diaries. You've now officially followed me on my first bodybuilding prepping experience. I am already prepping into my second one. I'm at the start of my growth phase. My next show, however, won't be until 2028. And in this time now, I'm going to be prepping for the classic physique category for the PCA. Now, people who know my background and what I did previously before going into all of this are asking, am I still performing? Am I still giving myself to the world of musical theatre? The answer is absolutely not. I realised in all of my 20s how much I compromised who I really was for that industry, and it just brings me no joy anymore. I don't feel like it's helping me grow as a person. I don't feel like I'm evolving. In the past few performance contracts I've done, I've ultimately just felt like I was stalling. I wasn't becoming better in any way. If anything, I just felt like I was constantly being held back, or felt like I was trying to fit into some mold that I don't think was ever for me. I think my love was always for the craft of singing, of dancing, of acting. It was the work that I loved. It wasn't so much the shows and all that surrounds it. And it's not my scene. And that's okay. And I think it's healthy as humans to grow and shed your skin, discover different facets about yourself, embrace them, yeah, and grow with them. And I want to keep growing and I want to keep becoming a better person. And I just think, given the climate of that world, it's hard to do that. And that's all I'll say on that matter. My next steps now are I'm putting all my energy into my online coaching and my personal training business. I'm training to be a bodybuilder. I'm coaching at some amazing studios in London. And I have one more thing that I want to do. And I'll leave you with a clue. Thank you so much for sharing your time watching this vlog. I hope you enjoyed it, even just a tiny bit as much as I loved experiencing it all. Here's to the next one. I'll see you then. Lots of love.